Oops, I started. Hi. Okay, love and compassion, not force and coercion. Time is short for you, so thanks for clicking on. Here's the thing. I'll cut to the chase so you can get out quick. Um, if you look on my Facebook, you go down, you can click directly on the last episode of the January 6th hearings. In my ideal condition, I would love it if you, whoever you are, whatever you think, actually watched all 6 of those episodes as if you were binge watching a Netflix series for yourself. This is all firsthand information, and it's been given to the public through taxpayer funded hearing, and it's there on YouTube. There's a cat video channel, there's the Joe Rogan channel, and there's the January 6th committee channel. And these episodes, these sessions, have a beginning and an end. There is the gaveling in by Benny Thompson, and once the camera rolls, it goes continuously for 2 hours, and then it's adjoined, as he says, every episode so far. So from the gaveling in to the gaveling out, it's one continuous stream of data for you. It's like a grand jury. You get to be a viewer of information presented in front of you for your edification regarding the question, what happened on January 6th? Something did. People have different opinions about what, and we're all bombarded, including me, by that. Anyway, I'm yakking. Point of the matter is, you are not going to have time now to watch all 12 hours. Great. So the last episode was a surprise episode with Cassidy Hutchinson. If you're clicking on YouTube, you're familiar with enough media stuff to be aware of that. Anyway, that's a 2-hour thing. It's great video, well produced. There's not an ounce of fat. There's no hemming and hawing and overriding and pontificating and so forth. Maybe a little bit of pontificating, but all within an appropriate thing. So that 2-hour thing would be great if you could see it. But you're still too busy. You're not sure. Why should I? What do I get out of it? Why do I spend the time? Love and compassion, not force and coercion. If you know me, I'm not going to waste your time. But I'm going to tell you, this is so different than anything that's ever been in your lifetime. This currently, it may be the last opportunity to have something like this accidentally present itself as a neutral object in a highly polarized socio-political environment that will allow people to look at something objectively. And then whatever they do, whatever portals, if they're a Fox person, if they're a Russell Brand, if they're a Stephen Cole, who knows, whatever they are, they'll have something in common. That means you and me, not the top 1% who don't care, and then deliver to us a polarizing political structure so we're against each other, so we can be divided, so that we can consume happily like cows. This is rather an accidental presentation. And so what I would like to suggest is, as soon as you can, click on, get yourself 20 minutes and watch the first 20 minutes with Cassidy Hutchinson. And if it doesn't grab you and you've seen it yourself, but from the beginning, I've talked to a lot of friends, and that's why I'm doing this video, that are very clever. My group sort of leans left, is more of the smarty farties, and they angry at Trump. And okay, great, I have some of that. Then I have friends that are on the right that love Trump, and it's been very interesting. So the thing is, I've asked, like, okay, hey, did you see the hearing? They all say, yeah. Then I ask a little further. Well, no, they didn't. They saw part of it. But they kind of figured out what it's all about. So they're too smart and they don't really need to see. It shows Trump this. But when you watch the whole thing, it's not like that at all. It is not a condemnation of Trump. It's an investigation into what created the conditions, more or less, of January 6th, where a bunch of people did things, and some people say it was an insurrection, some people say it was a protest, whatever, and that's what that's about. And so it's an investigation. In the course of it, sure, the orientation is kind of Trump and his minions and etc. But in the course of it, people are just giving information, mostly Republicans. It's not a Democratic show. It's not a Democrat show. It's a Republican show. Anyway, and in the course of it, if I was a Trump fan, I'm not going to care about what the elites want and are trying to manipulate me and stuff like that. And I know there's things behind the scenes. So does the left. So does everybody. That's why we don't participate. We're all jaded. But if you look at the thing for yourself without waiting for Sean Hannity or Tucker Carlson or whoever to tell you how to see it and whether there's something or not, in the privacy of your own home, as if it was a porn video, let's say, not safe for work, you can watch the thing for yourself. Nothing will change. Then you go back to your portals, then you hold your position and so forth, but you will be empowered and have information that you have, that I have, that the other one has, that any American can have. Anyway, okay, so the thing is, I would suggest with love, with etc., whoever you are, whatever you think you know, and you're too smart, or you already got it figured out, or you think it's not that at all, take 20 minutes of your life. We're only talking about democracy as we've understood it. This is a civics lesson. This is a snapshot. Whoever you are, wait, let me take a moment here. If that was enough for you and you're going to see it, that's the point of this thing. So let me save you time. Say bye-bye. I'm going to ramble a little bit now. I'll give you a second. Okay, great. So you can go, click, watch the thing, and then if you like it, you can always see the whole 2 hours. And then if you say, wow, that's interesting, I promise you the first 5 interesting too. And in about a week, they're going to resume these hearings. But things are ramping up. People are wanting to pull things out of it and show this and that, and they think, oh, we got it figured out. No, no, no. You and me, we get to watch it. And also, so just in case, things that you're going to get out of this thing, in case you're still not sure, but you want a little bit of a thing, and I'm going to have fun too. Okay, like love and compassion, not force and coercion, even with myself. Okay, so for starters, watch it at home, great, but it still feels like a civics duty. If I could do it, and I tried, but my situations are a little constrained, I would get like a little boutique theater or screen at one of the 12 plexes that's empty and put up there that whole Cassidy Hutchinson one on a nice big screen with good audio. There's a 10-minute break built in between, and watch it with other folks. The idea would be no cross-political dialogue. Yeah, we all got so many things going on. No kidding. Roe versus Wade, gun control, school shootings. It looks like it's a mess. I live in Tucson, Arizona. In 60 days, all these states are supposed to figure out how to divvy up water. I think that's going to be a problem. Nonetheless, hold the course. Here is this basic thing. It's the only thing that's completely neutral, factual. You can look at it. I can look at it. And then also, though, I've been talking to some other folks, and maybe some Mexicans, African Americans, women that are angry about Roe versus Wade, and guys should be too. But what's the premise? What are the principles? Very complicated to get into it. I mean, it's only been happening for 50 years. But for BIPOC, Black, Indigenous, people of color, and then people that have other non-normative, non-cis, white, heteronormative lifestyles, and this is basically white guys. I mean, the guys that are testifying were Trump-appointed, Trump supporters, and some of them still want Trump. Great. And Liz Cheney, white lady, looks like she'd be a Karen, but this woman is amazing, Liz Cheney, and much respect. And because you'd think that this is about trying to get Trump. They're going to get Trump some way or another. That's a different thing. But this is not at all about getting Trump. And it's not all about Liz Cheney wanting to do something for Democrats, because why would a Republican want to do something for Democrats? It's an investigation. It's finding out and giving you and me as Americans, whether you're Democrat, Republican, independent, out of your mind, totally indifferent. Over a third of Americans don't bother voting. It's not because they're dumb. It's because everybody knows there's a problem with the system. But this is a beautiful system in its own way. It's a matter of its growth. Anyway, and that's what this mini-series, in a very exciting, clean format, not an ounce of fat, has production values. There was certainly scripting because these senators or congresspeople are staying on track. And they're not trying to improv and fluff like I'm doing now. Like I should have a script and I would talk to you and da-da-da-da-da, but I don't. So the point of the matter is, though, there's not an ounce of fat anywhere. And so the thing is, it's got all kinds of things going on. It's not just the pulling a fact. Someone told me, what am I going to get out of it? Screw you. What are you going to get out of it? It's John F. Kennedy. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And when it was 9/11 back in the day, what we got given as people that were concerned with whatever was going on and etc., we were told by the leaders of the time, this is the best way you can fight, American citizen. Continue shopping. Do you remember that? That's what we could do. Continue shopping. The level of cynicism is so high. Amazon did great, Walmart did great, and you and I are struggling, because that's just the way it is. In this case, none of those people are really interested in you watching a whole hearing for yourself. If you caught it live, it needs to be live. And it was live, because no one can argue that there was a fake news thing here or this. If you believe that everyone's being manipulated and whatever your thing is, if you're a QAnon person, great, keep your QAnon feed, but go and see it yourself for yourself. And then you can look for the puppet strings. You can look for the quick cuts and edits and so forth. I don't think you're going to see them. I didn't see them. But if you look and you see it, and then I've looked and I didn't see it, we could talk about that and you can reference that. You know what I mean? And certainly everyone's going to have their orientation. But things that are at stake here is that we're about to do something, and something has to be done because our system of governance is now outgrown. So when Roe versus Wade folks are saying, hey, for 50 years it's been constitutional law or whatever, good. So you want to roll back the clock and say, okay, I want that. Okay, but then let's roll it back further, which is what other group of people are doing. Well, the Constitution was this. Well, when you see most of the media and you have people that are Americans and they look different than 150 years ago, there's black, there's Hispanic, there's women dialoguing and Asians and saying, oh, as Americans, this is what makes America great, that all men are created equal. Well, bad news, honey bunny. No, not the American Constitution, not the Declaration of Independence. It's right there. That document has not been changed. We've gotten whatever, but when justice is blind and says, well, do the letter of the law, and then you decide that for your justice, we're going to use that law because that law served me, then we got some problems that we're going to need to deal with. So some people say we got to modify, add amendments, like the Bill of Rights, okay? Your Second Amendment with my gun and a militia. Got a bad news for you. That's not the Constitution. That's an amendment to the Constitution, which means that amendment could be unamended, right? But take it out of my cold dead hands. But that's all a different thing. That's me. I get to riff too. I get to have my opinions and blah, blah, blah. What I'm saying is that if you're a BIPOC person, watch this, learn, look at white people going at white people. Hey, instead of thinking that all white people are a monolith, they're totally different. If you're a Republican or Republican oriented in the values, and you have a little issue with Trump for whatever reason it is, you can look at this too, and you will see in it all kinds of things. Like if I was a Trump fan, a mega, already I don't care about anyone but my MAGA orientation. Like, that's just the way it is. Usually I'm a disenfranchised kind of male feeling a little unempowered in these days when, people of color are getting this and then women are getting whatever. It's all incorporated in the book Backlash by Susan Faludi. But that's getting a little bit, because I'm there. That's what I like to do, so I don't have many friends, whatever. But the point of the matter is, in watching the video, when you've heard about Donald Trump wanting to go to the ellipse, at the ellipse, and then wanting to go with the marchers. Okay, when the thing happened in real time, January 6th, and you saw that video, if you're an anti-Trump person or a cynic, you'd say, oh, there's Trump saying, I'm going to go join you. We're all going to walk down to the Capitol. I'll be there with you. And then it turned out he never showed up, and he didn't even call or whatever. And people are like, well, I wonder what happened. And so the cynical mind goes, You see, he was scamming them. But now this testimony that everyone is saying, oh, it proves Trump and whatever. If I'm a Trump fan, I'm finding out firsthand from this same gal that's getting death threats, and who the hell is doing that? If you know one of those people with death threats, I recommend you beat the hell out of them, especially if you're a MAGA person. Anyway, so the point of the matter is, she's testifying that no, what she heard was that Trump literally tried to overcome his own Secret Service, take the beast, that's a different story, down to the Capitol, and he almost throttled the Secret Service agent. So for people that are all tea and crumpets, they're like, oh my God, he's such a whatever. But if I'm a MAGA supporter, I'm like, hell yeah, that's my boy. Now, of course, the objective was to disempower the United States and remove democracy, because that's what you do when you know that your people are armed. But the people that support them don't care. They want that. They're buying guns because they want a change in the governmental structure. Now, that was the other part I was trying to remember. I was stalling a little bit. So for you Republicans, for instance, that have supported Trump, the underlying essence of this thing, what caused January 6th or what gave it its power, was the concept that the election was stolen. So the earlier episodes, not this one with the Cassidy, they deal with that. It's boring. It's not. I mean, there's some video of all that stuff, but really it just kind of lays out and shows you, and people go like, okay, William Barr said this one, everyone told him, blah, blah, blah. And doesn't mean that Trump frauded anybody, okay? If you believe he's your like God or whatever and you love him, he just whatever. You know, when you have a manic episode and you're in your 70s and you've dealt with power and you've gotten as far as you've gotten, he's like, you know what? And the people on the left do that too. New age people, they go, I want to create my own reality. You got to believe it. You know, Tony Robbins, walk over the fire. So same thing with Trump. He's a go-get-it guy. And he's like, it was a fraud. It couldn't be. I refuse to accept it. So that's a different thing. And so this hearing is not about Donald Trump being on trial. It's an investigation of all the stuff, definitely oriented. I mean, Donald Trump was the president. Donald Trump was on the ellipse. You put a MAGA hat, not because it's Jimmy, not because it's Mike Pence. It's because Trump. So either you own it or you don't own it. So wah. So that's part of it. But he himself is a part of a system. You and I are part of a system. The system itself is a part of the system. It's like a bad Matrix movie, not nearly as exciting. But here's the glitch in that system that's to your and my benefit in a short window of time is these full episodes are on YouTube. You go to January 6th hearing or January 6th committee. I'm no good. I don't have time to put the little things. Or you go to my Facebook, go down and click it, and then you can go down that rabbit hole. But there's just 6 of them. And if it was a movie that you just found out about halfway through a movie series, I don't know, was it 6 Feet Under or whatever the hell it is, and you saw an episode and you go like, oh my God, I love that. I wonder how this happened. You go back and you binge watch it. Well, here you go. You don't need to pay Netflix, etc. It's right on YouTube. In a week, after the next hearings start again, if you do this just for fun, and instead of doing it by yourself, invite some friends over. You know, invite your opposite political friends that you haven't talked to in a while. Say, hey, look, come to my house. Let's get some wine. Let's smoke some herb. Let's have some cheese. Whatever it is you do, let's praise Jesus, whatever you want to do. And let's not talk about our opinions, but let's watch this together. And then if you have questions, there are questions about, did you hear that correctly? Or you misunderstood, like what is a district attorney general? Was that the state of Georgia? Or are we talking about some other electoral commission? Whatever those bits are. But it's a hell of an education. It's a course in civics. We haven't had this opportunity as a nation ever since I was born. It's always been in halfway done, vested interest. They're all people that either know it or don't know it. This is something everyone can get in on together. And if you're smart and you think you're a political pundit and whatever, like let's say you're an MSNBC person, I heard 2 or 3 of them. You could tell they went to the bathroom during part of the hearing, and then when they're being talking, they made these generalizations. You're like, dude, you totally didn't get that part. So even the people that are pundits, they're too smart to watch it. My life is boring. Oh, and just to be clear, okay, it's not that I'm committed to politics or whatever. I live at home. My friends that know me, I take care of my mom with dementia. It happened during COVID. There's a whole pandemic thing too. This is a great thing to get out of the pandemic and get engaged. Anyway, point of the matter is, so I happen to have time. I happen to have too much time. And so I was able to watch all of these 6 episodes. The 5, that was already really good. But, you know, at my friend, if I didn't have my mom, I'd be doing tiling like I normally do, and I'd be busy. I'd have my kids. I'd go out, see a movie, blah, blah, blah. And I wouldn't really, you know, I might have done the same thing, been like, oh, you know, whatever. So I get it. That's why I'm saying love and compassion, not force and coercion. I'm not trying to force you. You're going to be fine, kind of, but what reason don't you have to at least watch the first 20 minutes of this Cassidy one? I'm telling you, I'm giving you my word. You've wasted so much time. You had to have. You're on YouTube. You've doom scrolled. You've seen stuff. You've gone to movies, etc. This is completely transitional, and unlike other circumstances, you literally can be involved in a meaningful way by simply bearing witness. That's what a juror is. Have you done jury duty? They don't sum it up. Those people suffer from days and days and days. This isn't the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial. It's not about a right or wrong. No one's on trial here. There's no thing. It's an investigation. It's not the Oliver North Iran-Contra hearing, which was about a group that wanted political power. This is about, it's not even Watergate. This is about January 6th. And people are very defensive. It's been very stressful. Deep breath, love and compassion, and there you go. Find yourself 20 minutes. And if you get into it, don't be shy. Encourage your friends. Make it fun if you have time. I'm highly constrained. I wish I could rent a theater and play the thing. I'm working on it, but I don't know. And once the 11th starts, fine. It'll be on the 12th of July is the next hearing thing. But already people want more of this. And this group says, oh, da-da-da. So it's up to you. It's there. I'm just saying for yourself. I'm not going to say, please don't do me a favor. If you don't care, that's your right. But there'll be nothing left for you right now. This is July 5th, 2022. Whether you're religious, one of my co-religious brethren, this isn't political. It's not party politics. It's bipartisan, mostly Republican, dealing with structural, societal, political foundation. If you want to, so it's a must watch. It's a civic duty, in my opinion. And if you're concerned about other things, Second Amendment rights, abortion rights, whatever it is, you're not going to get anywhere by arguing. That's the way the system is set up, to keep us apart from each other, drive families apart. This is the foundation. Sorry, the party's over. We need to work this out, but we need to work it out together. United we stand, divided we fall. Right? And this fall, there's no coming back from. So, take 20 minutes, watch it. Beautiful production. If you're a guy, 2 beautiful women to look at. I'm just being heteronormative, patriarchal, residual, blah, 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 blah. But, and if you're women, you should watch it because these are 2 beautiful, powerful women. Love and compassion, not force and coercion. Watch it.